Hello friends, welcome back to our YouTube channel, that is Study Material. So as you know that we have started a new playlist in which we are sharing the interview experience of some dignified and MNCs. So as you know that we have shared the interview experience of the Infosys, Cognizant, Persistent and many more. So today Nandini Soni is with us and he is going to share the experience of Capgemini. So first I just want to welcome Nandini on my YouTube channel. So welcome Nandini.
Thank you, Vaibhav. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, it's pleasure to have you here. Okay, Nandini, so moving ahead. So first introduce yourself, your branch, your pass out year, and your company in which you got placed here.
Okay, so I am Nandini Soni. I am currently working in Capgemini as a senior software engineer, and I am passed out in 2019 from LNCT Bhopal from computer science branch.
Okay, that's great, Nandini. So as you are working in Capgemini, so can you please share the recruitment process, that how many rounds were there and detailing of each round one by one? So
Yeah, sure. At my when I was passed out, then 4 rounds were conducted. 2 were written rounds and 2 were interview rounds. So when they take first, I'll explain in detail all the rounds. First round, which is written round, it has aptitude, reasoning, and English, and each 3 sectional cutoff. So they consisted of 15 questions each and cutoff for 7 and above. If you score more than 7, then you are qualified for the next round. Second round of Capgemini recruitment process consists of multiple questions, multiple choice questions. So they ask mainly algorithm, Java output questions, or error prediction questions. They also had 2 sets of questions. So each set consisted of sectional cutoff. So they had 15 questions and you had to score more than 9 in both the sections. So if I tell you in number wise, 2,500 people sat in for first round. And after first round, 350 people were selected for second round. So if you think that the written is easy, it is not easy. So section wise cutoff is there. As now I will tell you about third round. Third round is interviewer round, which is face-to-face technical interview question. So they ask you mainly whatever you have written in your resume, especially the technical stuff. If you have written Java or whichever language, they don't focus on that you should know C, C++ or Java or C# or Python. No. They will give you a code to write in whichever language you are comfortable, you can write. And then fourth, the final round is HR round, in which they will just ask you to introduce yourself and tell your hobbies, and they are just checking out your confidence. And the main question they ask in HR, especially in Capgemini, is that you are ready to relocate or not. As of now, I have located in 3 cities in past 1 year. So when they're asking you to relocate, they are meaning that you should be ready to relocate in Pan India.
Okay, that's great, Nandini. So thanks for sharing every detail. So Nandini, moving ahead for the first round, as you said that in the first round written examination, there were English, aptitude and reasoning. So I just want to know the difficulty level of each round. I mean to say, because some of the students might be looking for some institute, for coaching institute or some book references. So just asking for that purpose. What was the difficulty level? It was easy, moderate or tough? How it was?
I will not say that it was difficult, but it was not even easy. It was moderate. And as I was preparing for CAT that time, so qualifying written was not a difficult part for me. But if you, my friends prepared from RS Agrawal and Arihant, and if anybody is looking for a coaching, I will in Bhopal or outside Bhopal, I will suggest time. You can join time. They will provide you the better study material. But if you and for online class, I will for online material, I will prefer IndiaBix. But don't just depend that you know maths, you know English, so it will be easy. No, it is not easy, because the difficulty part lies in the sectional cutoff. Because if out of 15 you have to score 8, if you have scored 12 in English or in reasoning, but you have not scored in maths, then also you will not be qualified for the round. So
Right.
you should be prepared for every section, and you should prepare that.
Okay. Okay, that's great, Nandini. And for the second round, as you said, that there were multiple choice questions from the algorithm, from Java. So some more important subjects might be there from each branch. So as you are from CS background, so can you name some of the important subjects like database, DBMS? So can you please rename?
Yeah, I will tell you that DBMS is one of the most important subjects, because which is one of the reason that continuously 2 semesters we get DBMS, DBMS 1 and DBMS 2,
Okay.
same as data structures. So if never take lightly, both the things are important, theoretical and practical work. So you can get the material from Geeks for Geeks for both the subjects. There is LMNS LMNS column, last minute notes available in Geeks for Geeks. Just that is sufficient for a non-CS background person. So you can prepare from that. Both the subjects, DBMS and data structures, are very important, as well as operating system.
Okay. Okay. These 3 subjects you mean to say are very important.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Nandini. So as you are from CS background, so talking about some other students, likewise some students are from civil, electrical, mechanical. So can they apply for this Capgemini recruitment, or how it is, or it recruits only to
Yes,
CS
yes.
IT students?
No MNC, and no, I don't think any company just say that I want a CS person, because there are people. For example, one of my friends was in RGPB, but she was in mechanical branch, because she got RGPB, so she took other branch, but she had interest in computer science and coding and everything. So she took that branch, but continued learning of CS subjects as well as coding. So the only qualification that Capgemini wants is that you should have 60 plus, 65 plus in 10th, 12th and graduate. That's all. That is the only requirement. So anybody can apply for Capgemini. It doesn't matter that you are from CS or non-CS background. Your background doesn't matter, but you should have little knowledge. The recruitment process that used to happen 5 years ago or 10 years ago is completely different. They expect you just to pass the aptitude quant question, and then they'll recruit you. But nowadays they want you to work like this. Some, for example, TCS nowadays gives 18 days, 21 days training, and then they want you to work. But nowadays they want you to have basic knowledge of everything. Even if it doesn't matter which language, no C++, no C, basic C, know how to write code, that's all. No data structure. What is data structure? It is simply mathematical. So it is not hard and fast that you should know everything, but one should know basic about it. If you are just blank that I know mechanical subjects, but I'm ready to learn, no. You should have some learning beforehand, then you can proceed.
Okay, okay. That's great. You give everything in detail. Okay, Nandini, so moving ahead for the next round that you said about the interview of the technical round, correct? And after that, HR. So can you recall that's what were the questions that were asked by you?
Yes. So it is said that Capgemini's technical interview is the toughest. At my time, it was said. In comparison to Cognizant or TCS. The reason is they ask more technical, they focus on more technical questions.
Okay.
So 4 codes were thrown to me, and in 2 codes, they were asking me to find the error and predict the output and make some changes in the existing code. And 2 codes, they asked me to write those 2 codes. And then they asked me about my project as well. So whatever project you are making in the 7th, 8th semester, like major project that you have to make, please make sure that it is thorough to you. You know the basic and the proper everything. At least 90% of the project should be known by you. It should not be blank.
Okay, Nandini, so as you are saying that there were 4 questions were asked by you. asked to you in the interview. So might be the case that some student is from the mechanical, so he's not, might be the case he's not good in coding. So can you just rename some of the basic important programming questions like Fibonacci series, prime numbers, odd even programs, something or like that, so that the other branch students can prepare themselves?
Yeah, I believe that there is some basic pattern of questions that is asked by every company.
Okay.
And you must know those questions. For example, palindrome, prime numbers,
Okay.
odd even prediction, and some pattern printing questions that they can ask you to print star, diagonal. They can ask you that. So these are some basic questions which you will find in Geeks for Geeks. Maybe you will find that I'm too much bragging about Geeks for Geeks, but they have such a good material that if you start studying today, 1 year will be less for you to complete the material available there. But there is a section that basic MNC questions. If you will go in Geeks for Geeks, you will find there. And they have certain 32 approx questions. Just go through those questions. I bet that those questions will only come. They can make some changes, but I don't think that with pressure they do that. But they will ask you that question. Yes.
Okay, that's great, Nandini. Okay, so moving ahead for the HR round. So can you recall that what were the questions about the, as you said, one question was about the relocation, that are you able to relocate or not? So can you recall some important question that were asked?
Yeah, so they asked me 2 questions. 2 to 3 questions she asked me. She didn't ask me more. First, that how was my technical round, and am I comfortable with Java? And later on, I got Java as I am in full stack Java domain. So I got the same. She asked me that. Second thing about my introduction, which included my hobbies and everything. I will come to that later. And third was relocation. And she didn't ask me anything else. Now, if I come to giving my introduction, that is one of the most crucial part of the interview, and many people take it very lightly.
Correct.
And many people just go like that. Okay, my name. Okay, I have given my name. I will tell my father's name, mother's name, address. No, they are not interested in that. Tell what is not written in your resume and what you want to show. What makes you different from others? What is the special quality about you? Just because you have to write your hobby or you have to tell your hobby, just don't say that, okay, my hobby is cooking or dancing. No, say what you feel. My hobby, you need to be exceptional. You need to show to them that, whatever your hobby is, you don't take that hobby lightly also. You take everything, you give importance to everything. May it be friends. You can say that, yes, I like to go out with my friends, but don't tell lie, because they have taken thousands and lakhs of interviews and they are sitting there with experience. If you be genuine and confident, surely they'll take it. In HR, because many people take HR very lightly and then they think that they'll be selected. HR is light, but no, the most people are rejected in the HR round.
Okay, Nandini, so that's great for the crucial information. Nandini, one question I forgot to ask about the project, that how important is the project for the other branches? As you said, for the CS background students, so they must be thoroughly gone to each project. So just talking about the other branch student, because might be the case they haven't prepared any project related to the IT background. So what is the point for them?
Okay, so first, I will tell that the basic project is building a calculator in any language, because that everybody has done mostly in CS branch.
Right.
But you must know, for non-CS also, it is not important. When they are interviewing non-CS, they don't expect you to make a project on CS, to be very honest. But if you make, it is a plus point, that it shows that you have interest, exceptionally interested you are in that subject, and that's why you have made. So it is a very good point that they get to hire you. But even if you have not made, it's fine. Now for CS people, why the project is so important? Because as far as I have seen, many people copy the project, write whatever I have made, some other person will write and then go. What I have made, I will surely know the difficulties that I have faced and the mistakes I have done in my project. and whatever limitations that I got while making the project. So I can tell with truth that which project I have. Now it comes like, for example, I made a chatbot. I did my training in machine learning. So I made a project which was completely of not my language. My language was Java, but I tried on machine learning, and yes, it had some flaws, but still, as I made it, I told the interviewer whatever the flaws were for my project, and they somehow understood. They know better than me, but they understood whatever I have learned. I learned Python or Python through that language, so they see you in a different way.
Correct. Okay, that's great, Nandini. Okay, so moving ahead, so talking about the resume, that what should we mention? I mean to say that about the weakness and strengths. Some students forget to write them, or some students write them in their resume. So how it is important? I mean to say for the recruiters.
Resume is very important. This I have understood after 1 year of Capgemini, how to write a resume properly. Because at that time in college, nobody is there to teach us how to write a resume and how correctly we should write. So the things that I would like to tell you is, first, never write your family's name, your father, mother, your address, where you are born and raised, your full date of birth, because they don't want that. At the end of the day, they want to see your skills and not your, because if they will select you, eventually they'll ask you. But right now they are not looking for. Second thing, make it very crisp and precise. Don't write a summary on your resume. Make it one-liners. Don't take it to 1 to 2 pages. It should be concise into one page, single page resume. Try to do that. Third thing, which my HR told to me recently, that never write your strength as I am good in communication. I know good English. See, whenever you're communicating with your interviewer, he will get to know how confident you are, how you speak English, and everything. So never write those things which eventually he will know. Write things that you want to showcase to him or her, so that that person will hire you. Write the languages you know, C, C++, Java, whatever. Make sure, this is very important point, they check your certifications. If you have done certifications, it is a plus point. That shows that you have so much interested into that language or coding that you are taking extra time, extra efforts to learn something. So make sure that you are writing, so you do certifications and you write. Nowadays, it is very easily available online, especially in lockdown, free of cost. Oracle provided free of cost something. So do that. And third point that I will tell you is, never make it very bright. People choose template which is very bright in color or something. No, make it subtle. That is the resume, very official, and it is going to a very senior person. So make sure you write that. That is sufficient. And yes, don't forget to mention your projects. Projects, as I said, projects are very important. They show whatever have you learned. So if they have something similar to that to give it to you, some project that they are looking for, and you already know the language, then it's a plus one. So make sure that you have individually done 2 to 3 projects.
Okay, that's great, Nandini. Nandini, one question about the training and workshops. How it is important. Some students done any training, or some students do not give any importance to this. So is it important in the recruitment process or not? Training and workshop.
Yes, training also matters in recruitment process, and especially when you are in front of interviewer, they ask you that which firm you are trained, how many months you are trained, how many projects did you make, how many languages did you learn. So whether it be any branch, not even just computer science. If I talk about electrical or mechanical, they also get trained in BHL or in their respective firms. But it is very important to get trained in a better firm plus in a different language. And I will suggest you one thing. If you know Java, don't get training in Java. This is my personal opinion, because if you already know Java, then you will be restricted to one language. get for example, I knew Java, I got trained in machine learning. So now I got to know Python, Python, and different kind of languages. So that is a plus point, that recruiter sees that you are not constricted, you're not constrained to one single language, or you will not say in future, no, I will not do project in machine learning or C#. So you should be open to every language, because there is some code which is quite algorithm, and everything is very similar and basic. If you do certain changes, you can easily adapt to different language. So that is also a plus point in front of interviewer.
Okay. Okay, Nandini, according to me, I think we have covered everything. So just ask one more question. Any suggestions to the freshers that you want to give from your end?
I would like to give suggestions that be confident and polite when you are in front of interviewer, and be humble, and never take written lightly, because to be honest, I got qualified for 12 to 13 written before Capgemini, but after every interview I was disqualified. So don't get disheartened that I was very disheartened that I am clearing written process, but I'm unable to qualify interviews. But take learning. For example, the mistake that I did in first interview, I took it as a learning, and then I used it in second interview, and then you have to keep on going forward. Never just stop because of anything. Just keep on learning whatever is stopping you, and ask interviewer, because he's also a person. Before leaving, even if he has rejected you, ask what mistake I did. If he says that you have less knowledge in technical, learn more knowledge, and don't think that you will qualify in first round. If you have qualified in first round, that is the best thing. But if you have not, don't dishearten, just keep on learning. Be confident while giving interviews, because that is one of the most important things that will make you clear rounds. And yes, that he will ask you 10 to 15 questions, and it is not necessary that you will know all questions. There are chances that you will not know 10 questions or 5 questions. Just be polite and say, sorry, I don't know. And then he will ask you maybe that 4 to 5 questions that may get you hired, and just be polite. That is what my suggestion is.
Okay. Okay, Nandini. So thank you very much for sharing your experience. So, okay, viewers. So I'm just summarizing this in only 2 lines, 2 minutes, what Nandini has said. So there are only 4 rounds in the recruitment process. First one is the written. Second one is the multiple choice question for the technical questions. After the technical round and HR round. And the references that Nandini was saying, Geeks for Geeks, India Wix, and RS Agrawal, you can refer, and some more YouTube channel. Yeah, correct, Nandini. If I'm wrong, please.
Correct, right.
Yeah,
right.
And some basic programming she is here, and that is the palindrome, Fibonacci series, and pattern questions. And focus on your, weakness that Nandini was saying that, and you must be confident. So all these knowledge shared by Nandini. And one more thing, that is the project. Project is very important for your recruitment process. So please focus on your project as well. Okay. Okay. If anybody is interested to share their experience, please contact us, and the email is given in the description, so you can just contact us from there. Okay, Nandini, thank you for sharing it.
Thanks for having me here, Weber. Thank you so much.